Ariel used to be my colleague at Lafarge, Wapco, at Ewekoro, in the olden days. So nice to meet you again, Ariel. Okay, so how do I do it? Should I share my screen or you'll be sharing the screen? Have I been granted?
Go ahead and share your screen. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Kindly confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
That's confirmed.
All right. Brilliant. So I have a few slides. I don't like doing a lot of going through the slides. The slides are important. I like to do a lot of talking, a lot of taking questions, a lot of answering people face to face, especially for a project like this or a topic like this. So you permit me when I just dash through the slides and we can quickly go to the question and answer sessions, because I know a lot of questions are waiting, a lot of comments are waiting, a lot of minds are, buggling, with some topics on top of it. So we'll just go through it. I already did my introduction, so no need to talk about this. So basically, today we're talking about mentoring. So mentoring has got so many other names that you can use. Opportunity, guide, peer, support, one-on-one, personal teaching, partnership, confidence, so many things relate to mentoring. But there are so many things that a lot of us don't know that are maybe basic or we overlook when it comes to mentoring. So stuff like who can be our mentor, when can we do mentoring, when can we be mentored, what are the things that is involved in mentoring? There's so many words. And why are we doing mentoring? How do we do it? How do we solve the problems that we face? And also very important, where, because a lot of people also do not know where to mentor. So today we'll be looking at some of these topics and we'll just address them. Like I said, the question and answer session would be the very important part where we'll get most of these answers from. So the definition of mentoring, because we cannot go further without just defining and all of us coming to an agreement on what we think mentoring should be. So I define it in this way. You can define it in several ways, by putting a few information on the screen just to, to get an agreement with everybody. So I said it's an ongoing structured relationship. So it has to be structured. It has to be a relationship with a trusted individual. So someone that you're looking up to, or somebody that you are trying to mentor, for you to have good relationship with that person, in terms of mentoring, there should be some level of trust, some level of confidence. And it should be aimed at developing the competence and potentials of the mentee. So most times for mentoring, we always direct it in the benefit of the mentee, but most times it's the reverse situation sometimes. So if you're going into mentoring like myself, over the years, I have gained a lot. I have learned a lot from all my mentees. Every one of my mentees, I have gained something from them, even the fresh graduates, even the ones that are still in school that I mentor. There are a few things that I benefit from them. They may not know, because I'm not basically saying it to everybody, but I when I go into relationship of mentoring, I also benefit a lot from it. So having a mentor could be one of the most powerful development relationships you would ever experience in your career, in school, in your social life, whatever you're in a religious setting, or you are in a sport, you are developing your talent, whatever. It's a mentor would always be able to give you some powerful, tips that can help you. Mostly like for myself, when I was coming up in the health, safety and environmental career, I didn't even get any mentor. I made a lot of mistakes, too many mistakes. I know that there are mistakes. The reason I made those mistakes was because I was not experienced. I was experienced. I was a smart guy. I was, sound health and safety wise. I was trying to get all the certifications, trying to get all the jobs. But there are some jobs that perhaps I shouldn't have even signed up for. There are some moves in the company that I shouldn't have made moves for. There's some money I wasted on some certifications that I should not even have spent that money for. So if I had a mentor, would have saved me chunk of money, a lot of time, and maybe kept me from those mistakes I made career-wise. And maybe by today I should have even blown more than I have, if I would say I have blown. So a mentor would give you that powerful developmental support while you're growing in your career. I just put it here, 4 out of 5 from a research I saw, 4 out of 5 executives say having a mentor was one of the key to their successes. So at the end, I'll show you some slides. Someone like Oprah Winfrey, someone like Mark Zuckerberg, they are super chief executives that, mentors have guided them. So for example, Mark Zuckerberg had Steve Jobs as his mentor, and he was meeting regularly with Steve Jobs. That's the fact that there were 2 different, organizations. He was going to Steve Jobs to, to pick his brain, to share his success, to share ideas of his new project, and Steve Jobs was guiding him, and that's one of the reasons why he was successful, right? So it's important that we have mentors in our lives. Mentoring is a brain to pick, an ear to listen to, and a push into the right direction. Okay, so some myths that people think about mentoring that they always think mentoring is they feel mentors are not needed when you're gainfully employed. So you only need mentors when you're looking for a job or when you're still in school. They think mentors must choose their mentees. So you cannot approach a mentor to ask for them to be your mentor. They say a mentor cannot be a mentee. That's what I just talked about. I also get mentored by my mentees. They don't know. So most times I get information from them that I could have been struggling for somewhere. A lot of people say you should only have one mentor at a time. It's most times false. You can have multiple mentors, but your management of the relationship, your time management, and your availability is super important to be able to conquer this part. So I personally have different mentors right now. Different mentors, for some are to guide me financially, some to guide me in my future career. I'm thinking about going in to become a consultant. So I'm looking at some people that are very good with sales and marketing. So I'm getting some mentorship, ideas from them. I'm also looking at a few people that are still in the health and safety profession, so in every aspect that I'm looking out for now, short term and long term, and even immediate, I seek a mentor in different aspects. So don't only seek for mentors in health and safety or in environment or in whatever field you are right now. Look for mentors in different areas because, for example, myself, I'm a mentor for health and safety. Although I have experience in some other fields, I may not be the excellent go-to person for you when it comes to accounting or budgeting. There may be somebody in that's currently maybe a chartered accountant or practicing accounting that could help you better than I would do. Yes, I can give you some tips from my experience, but that person will give you better and scientific ideas, to guide you and guide you directly in the right direction. So there's also one very part of a mentoring, mentee-mentor relationship that is a very big myth. Most people say that the mentor must be older than the mentee. Most times it's not true. I've mentored so many people that are younger than myself. I've mentored so many people that are older than myself, so much older than myself, that they come to me to seek for mentoring. And they are much older than myself. So it's a false idea. And lastly, there's still so many myths, but I just picked these few. A few people say if you have a mentor that's a man, because you're a man, it's a man would understand you better. a lady will understand a lady better. Sometimes it's not correct. You can get a mentor of a similar sex to yourself. That's perfect. But sometimes I can get a mentor that's a lady. I have a mentor that's a lady, just for your information. Okay, so how do I find a mentor? The how part of it is super important that you know this. So there's different kind of mentoring. There's the informal, there's the formal. So for the formal, which is what we're going to put some focus on, because the informal, you learn every day from your family, from your friends, from nature, from your community. If in fact in Africa they said there's a saying that's a wise saying that says the children, the community is responsible for bringing up the child, right? So the children or ourselves will learn from our communities, and we pick a lot of things, and that's how we become who we are. So that's informal. It's spontaneous. It's not formalized. It's not intentional. You just pick it up. But the formal ones are the ones you have in the workplaces. Some organizations have it. Some schools have it. And we have a very formalized one with IOSH. So if you're an IOSH member, there's a mentoring platform. In fact, I think there's a mentoring group, a subgroup with the West Africa branch that you can, seek, and then they can guide you on, the mentors we have within the West African branch and how you can access them and the opportunities involved in that. And if you want to be a volunteer, there's also the opportunity to join. I'm a mentor on the IOSH platform. And then there are so many other safety professional stations that, can have, that have mentoring programs that you can also key into. You can also get from places of worship, very important. You can get social organizations. They have very good mentoring programs. I'm not going to mention them, but there's so many. And then there are so many other ones, that you can also join. But like I said, it's important that you take advantage of the one for IOSH because, you're a member of IOSH. Take advantage of it, seek for, mentors within IOSH and begin to grow that relationship. So one of the things that, affect us as mentees when we go into, when we meet a mentor, because there are some things that mentees expect when they go into mentoring. Also, there are some things that, the mentors also are worried about when they meet a mentee. So when, what you should expect of your mentor as a mentee, you should expect one, that your mentor shows empathy to you, shows constructive, challenge. Your mentor should not just be a mirror of yourself, you shouldn't be looking for a mirror of yourself in your mentor. So someone that when you say yes, when the mentor says yes, it's yes. Most times you cannot challenge each other. Your topics are just, just bouncing off. It doesn't improve you, it doesn't improve the mentor. It doesn't even change the situation that you think. You guys are just having a chit chat every time. Maybe you just have someone you just want to gossip with. That's not what you should expect from your mentor. You should be sharing experience. You should be sharing confidential information. So your mentor should be able to keep your confidentiality. So for example, there are some information that you want to share with your mentor, maybe from the organization where you work, and those information are, confidential. You don't want those things to end up, in the public. You should be able to trust that your mentor would keep those things confident. You should be confident in your mentor that those things would be kept, within your relationship and it doesn't go out. You should build a friendship with your mentor. So a lot of people don't become friends with their mentors. I'll talk about this in a few slides below. But for an effective mentor-mentee relationship, you should build friendship over time. So I'm not saying when you begin, then you're friends, no, but you can begin to build that friendship, that trust, that confidentiality. You begin to build it over time. It mostly works when you're friends. So say, for example, after 6 months, both of you now become friends, and you can now begin to relate with so many things. Begin to talk about family, begin to talk about other things. You will see that you can easily flow with the mentor. The mentor will give you even more time. Will bring you into more situations. So for example, the mentor may like, going to a sports event. The mentor can take you along, and while you guys are watching a sports event, You can be discussing, issues that have to do with, with your challenges. So this is a very good opportunity to be able to relate to your mentor. So if you're not friendly with your mentor, it will just look like an official discussion, and it ends there. There's no extra effort. There's no extra relationship outside of your talks. Your mentor should help you to build networks. So your mentor mostly maybe has already networked because of their experience, their exposure, their current role. They know a few folks. They should be able to link you up to these folks instead of you trying to build those blocks yourself. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people get some jobs or some contracts or some opportunities that come along their way because, not because they are super good, not because their resumes are fantastic, not even because they are so experienced, but because they have networked themselves with the right mentors who will be able to talk about them in a room where they are not there, right? So your mentor should be able to help you to build this network. Your mentor should be a sounding board. So, you throw information to the mentor digests, the mentor returns to you with some solutions or some ideas that you should go to think about. Your mentor should also be a good listener. So I always say when you have a mentor that listens more than they talk, you are with the right mentor. But when you are with a mentor that talks even more than you do, then you should begin to reconsider maybe your communication or begin to look at the kind of mentor that you should be looking out for. So your mentors should be less talkers and more listening to yourself. But this is not cast in stone. Some people are super talkers. I'm not saying they can't be good mentors. They can also be good mentors. But one of the very good things as a mentor is you want to listen, to the topics, the challenges, the information that your mentee wants to share with you. What you should not expect, from your mentor, you should not expect sponsorship. So as a mentor, I'm giving it from my example, a lot of my mentees, just some of them come to me and they just throw all the assignments on me. Some just come and just say, I want to develop a scope of work for, a bridge. My company is a construction company. We want to construct a bridge. I want, the safety scope of work for that project. And the person just dumps it on me and expects that, I give them the answer. So your mentor is not that dumping ground that you should just go and dump everything onto. So what I expect, that you do with your mentor is you do some work and you bounce it off your mentor and say, this is what I've done. And then your mentor looks at it and asks a few more questions, which I will talk about in some slides from now. If I can't talk about them, maybe you get it from the slides when you get them, can ask you a few leading questions on what you have done, except if you don't have you don't have an idea of it. I'm not saying that the mentor has to do exactly what I've said, but if you do some work and you show it to your mentor, it's better than you just dumping everything on them. And you see that some mentors begin to withdraw from you because they see that every time you come to dump things on them. What you not expect from a mentor is protection from your own mistakes. You should learn from your mistakes also, but not crazy mistake, not crazy risk, but there should be some things that you should, because sometimes we learn very well from some of our mistakes. You should not expect your mentor to be your hands-on. So your mentor should not be your direct line, not be doing your direct line manager's job. Like I said, it's also very important that you don't begin to bring in psychological and personal issues. Your mentors will begin to run away. You begin to see people not turning up for you again. Also, your social life, your personal problems, you should reduce it. And then finally, you should not expect that your mentor is a guru. Your mentor knows everything. And mentors are humans. So, they may be very good with some topics, and some other topics they may not be good. So some of the challenges which come between mentors and mentee, like I said in the beginning, the trust, building that trust, gaining their trust on the both sides, becoming friendly, respecting each other is super important. So we have a lot of challenges with building trust. Sometimes, they say your first impression matters. So you go and then, the first thing they meet with you, it's not palatable to them, it's not acceptable to them. You already broken that trust. It's not easy to build it. It will take some time again. You expect your mentor to be the expert. Like I said, your mentor is not, they may be gurus, but sometimes they are open, they're humans, they can make mistakes, or they may not be very valid in all the topics. You should be sensitive to differences. So some people, because maybe it's a man and a woman, or it's a man and a girl, or different religions, or different approaches to life, different political parties, for example, in Nigeria, and maybe in other parts of Africa, even across the world, some of these differences I feel shouldn't come. Even for example, some people don't even accept you being an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, and some people would not accept me because I'm an Arsenal fan. So we should be sensitive to some of these differences. Don't bring them to the table. Make sure you're very objective when you come to the table of discussion. You should be able to manage time. Time management is very important. Some mentees come to me and they want to take all my time. In fact, some mentees just call me. My time is about 6 hours from Nigeria, 5 hours from West Africa, so from Ghana. And sometimes some people call me by 2 a.m. when I'm sleeping. It's already morning their time. They're not sensitive about it, and then they call me, I'm sleeping, or they just, instead of sending a message to tell someone, are you available, just call. I know sometimes emergency is fine, but I think when you want to get in touch with a mentor, even with a mentee, you should be able to project or plan the time properly and ask, for their availability before you just reach out to them. Managing energy, sometimes energy drops on both sides. They could be due to so many reasons. My energy has dropped a few times because I took up more roles in my organization, or more roles in my family, or more things in other activities that I do. My energy dropped with some of my mentees. Some of them backed out. I still gained a few more, that were patient. So to be able to be patient and persevere as a mentee. A few folks have reached out to me consistently, even when they saw that maybe my energy dropped, they understood, and they kept reaching out to me. As most of these folks, once I was able to overcome some of those things, I made sure I caught up with these guys, and I really helped them. So perseverance, being patient is a very important challenge that you have to overcome as a mentee, even as a mentor. So like I said, when as a mentee or as a mentor, when you come to your first formal meeting, don't bring a long shopping list of the things you need to do, your mentor to do for you. So you want your mentor to train you, to show you how to become a chartered member, like 20 things, at the same time. Your mentee will be fatigued. Also, your mentor will be fatigued. So be careful, introduce things gradually. Like I said, build trust, be friendly. When you're a friend to someone, when they respect you, they would go to the extreme extent, or they will go extra for you. So build these things over time. Look at your list, put in an order of priority, and begin to shoot them to your mentor accordingly, and you will begin to see very good results. Don't expect your mentor to be available for you 24/7. Like I said, some people call me, while I'm sleeping. It's not fair. I'm your mentor doesn't mean, I am just there for you at every point in time. I'm a mentor for a few other folks. I'm also a family person. I'm also, working for myself, so your mentor may not be available for you 24/7. So try to plan, your meeting time with your mentor. You don't always expect your mentor to have all your answers. And finally, don't blame your mentor when things go wrong. Sometimes some advice, like I say, your mentor is not a guru, could advise you in the wrong way. Or don't take their advice as sacrosanct. You can always double check and, be sure before you go ahead to, to apply whatever knowledge they've shared for you. These are some of the skills that, are for mentees and for mentors. I've mentioned a few of them before. I won't want to talk about them right now individually. I'll just pick a few skills which are very important. Maybe when you get this slide, you'll be able to read through and be able to build some of these skills, even though if you don't have them. You can read the books about them. You can watch YouTube videos. You can watch other videos. Just to learn about some of these skills, and these skills really help. If you're a mentor, you should be an active listener. Like I said, you should listen more than you talk. You should determine the goals. You should also build trust. You should be a good motivator. You should be people-oriented. You should be an effective teacher, and then you should also respect people, no matter who they are. If they're younger than you or they're older than you and they're coming to you, respect them. When you're a mentee, you should be able to listen carefully, take notes as appropriate. Don't just be taking notes. Ask, in a respectful way from your mentor, can I take notes? It's important than you just be taking notes or you be recording the session without, approval from the person, or, sometimes it looks like you're not listening or you're distracted, but, you can take notes as appropriate. It's important that you talk to them and let them agree with you and understand, when you have done some meeting, reflect between the meetings, prepare your questions ahead. And then you go to the next meeting, showing your mentor that you have reflected over what they've talked to you about before. You have done some work. These are some of the responses. Your mentor would be happy that you're getting good results from their thoughts or their exchanges with you. And then they'll be willing to share more with you. If they don't get this, most times they think it's not working out. They think they're just wasting their time, and you see them begin to pull up. You should accept criticisms gracefully and take it seriously. So your mentor talks to you, don't just become angry and step out and walk away. Accept it, think about it, and like I said, take it seriously. And then very important that you demonstrate enthusiasm and interest. So you're meeting a mentor and your mind is somewhere else, you're looking somewhere else, you're chewing a gum, you are not showing enthusiasm, and this person may not want to help further. There also, like I said at the start, there are some questions that the mentor can ask the mentee to assist them, when they come to you with challenges, with topics. These are some of the questions that you can ask, that the mentee can look, into whatever they come with you. So come to meet you with. So a mentee has a challenge at work. They've done something about it. They come to you, and then you ask them, what are the possible solutions you see here? The mentee can begin to tell you some of these things, and some of them will carry the right answers, right? Some of the answers the mentee may share with you may not go right. And from your experience as a mentor, you can begin to, guide them. But you see that the mentee is already heading the right direction. You can also ask what key players, what resources do you need? What resources do you have? These are the extra resources I think you can have. These are alternative strategies I think you can develop. These are the new skills I think you can learn to become a chartered member. These are the ways that you can develop your competency to build on your CPD, to grow in IOSH or to grow in your career. These are the key players you need to, to catch up with. These are the people that help me as a person. You need to watch videos from so person. You need to watch videos from Darkball. You need to watch videos from Engineer Badmouth. These are the people that help me. I'm guiding you the right way. So these are some of the questions. The things that you can ask, the questions you can ask your mentee to guide them, to show them how to go in the right way. But like I said, mentees, do your best, before you go into not the first meeting, of course, other meetings, subsequent meetings, you go with something you have done. That really helps to motivate the mentor to be able to give you even many more solutions or many more ideas. And that can even trick the mentor to remember some of the things that he has done in the past or she has done in the past and be able to guide you in a correct way. But it's important, that like I said, you ask, you talk less and you let the mentee speak the more. When the mentee speaks the more, you help them develop their confidence, help them develop their thinking, their thought process, help them develop how to use the resources that they think they don't even have. How to help them become a better person. How to help them validate those informations on their mind that, and these are my thoughts. I think I'm wrong. But the mentor will tell you, I've done this before and, your thought process is correct, and that person will be happy, or tell the person, this is what you need to do to improve on whatever you have before. So these are some of the things. And then I talked about this last two slides because of time. Are just some frequently asked questions, when it comes to, and challenges that come up when it comes to mentor-mentee relationships. Our discussions are very shallow. You need to, readjust. You need to review your topics. You need to plan a few days ahead. And, before you go, you're running out of steam. Like I said in the past, sometimes I ran out of steam because of some other activities. I spoke to some of my mentees that reached out. So it's important that people understand what's happening to you at every point in time. Both mentors and mentee. Our meetings keep getting postponed. You can find other means of discussion. You must not meet face to face. You can do phone calls, video calls. We don't seem to have much rapport. It's very important that you begin to grow rapport over time. You begin to become friends. If you don't grow and become friends over time, it's okay if you're not friends, but I tell you, you work better when you're friends. It's okay if you cannot continue with that person. You can agree to both mutually withdraw from that. And if if you don't really, like I said, if you don't really like your mentor, it's many times you're just wasting your time. The mentor, I'm not saying you should like them 100%, but it helps you to believe in what they're saying when you have some regard for them, when you like them to some extent. You like some of the things they do. You like maybe the way they dress. You like, some of it, the way they speak. You like the way they talk to people. You like their charisma. Some of these things help you, to accept and agree with what they say. Like I said in the beginning, can I have more than one mentor? Yes, you can. You can have different mentors for different situations. How frequent should we meet? For me, once in a month. If you can meet for 1 hour in a month, it's fine. Most times, if you begin to develop good relationship with your mentor, I tell you, you would not know when you begin to have more than 5 hours, 7 hours in a week. You can even talk maybe 2 or 3 times in a week. It's friendship. And my last question here is, where is the best place to meet? You can meet at anywhere. You meet anywhere that you think it's, both of you are able to relax. Yet it has to be business-like, not just any crazy place, right? Not in a very noisy place, not in a place where you get a lot of distractions. But like I said, like I mentioned in this slide, the mentor's office isn't a good idea for you to meet. Try to keep away from the mentor's workplace, except if that mentor is perhaps a mentor in your in the organization, and if your organization has got maybe a mentoring program, yeah, it's fine, because that's where the mentor's office is, But normally, if that's not the situation, try to meet in a neutral place, in a place where both of you are able to relax. I always tell my mentees, and that's what I also did when I came to Canada, when I tried to develop, relationship with some mentees. I offered to meet them and, at a coffee shop, and buy coffee for them. They're richer than myself, of course. When I came to Canada, I was looking for work, right? They're richer than myself, but I bought coffee for them. The coffee is less than $10, with maybe the snack. And they're happy with me. They're taking the coffee. They're happy. They're discussing with me. It's not that they cannot afford the coffee, but because, I have taken that extra initiative. In fact, at the end of the day, maybe the next 2-3 meetings, they buy me lunch, very expensive lunch, right? Or, I continue to do this with them. So it's important that, you also take the extra effort, to reach out and appreciate your mentors. Is very important. Appreciate them. Every time you meet with a mentor, appreciate them, appreciate their time, appreciate their suggestions. When they give you some ideas, when you go, you work on those ideas, and they give those ideas, give you some results, don't wait for the next meeting before you tell them thank you or tell them how it's working. You can send them an email, a text message, a WhatsApp message, to thank them and tell them exactly how things are going with you. And you see them happy. They're looking forward to meeting you next, and they're looking forward, to helping you grow. So these are some of the key quotes that I wanted to share with you. That has to do with mentors and mentees. And some of these CEOs, some of these top men, actually became what they are. Not that these guys gave them the brainwave to get started, but help them in the right direction to get to where they became, better people. Like, you can see Mark Zuckerberg when he was a very super young guy, and when he wrote this message when Steve Jobs died. He says, "Steve, thank you for being a mentor and a friend. Thanks for showing that what you build can change the world. I miss you." So you can see, just those words. Thanks for showing that what you can build can change the world. It's super important to Mark Zuckerberg. He was building something, and Steve Jobs was giving him some guide in the right direction. And this helped him to become what he is today. Today is one of the I think it's top 10 billionaires in the world and super young guy, right? At that level. So, you know, other mentors like Oprah, other mentees like Oprah Winfrey, you know, she said a mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. So there's always that hope in yourself, you know, but that person helps you to validate it. That person helps you to make it shine. That person guides you to make sure that hope is not lost, you know. So these are some of the things that we need to do to our mentors, to our mentees, and you know, also appreciate our mentors as the case may be. So on that note, I know like I said, there's so many more topics at the top of your mind. I may not be able to address every one of them with this session, but you know, because of time, I'll be stopping and then I'll take a few questions. I'll be able to answer you. If I'm not, I'll be able to get back to you. I promise. And then, yeah, it's not going to stop here. You all have my access. You have information about me. You can always reach out to me if you have questions that we cannot answer here, and then we'll take it out from this forum. So moderators, I want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I'm open for questions and answers.
Thank you very much. Can we appreciate Akim Mustafa for a wonderful session? It's been an impactful and educative session. You agree with me that one of the ways to know a very good mentor is through. Please, can we mute our devices? I'm getting feedback from someone. You know, one of the ways to know a very good mentor, a very great mentor, is effective time management. He's been able to deliver this topic, you know, within the time frame, and you know, every slide has been very, very impactful. A number of people have been asking for the slide. Don't worry, we'll get them across to you. If you belong to any of our WhatsApp group, you definitely get them, or through your leaders in the various regions. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time. He's been able to take us through what mentorship is all about, you know, being able to influence, you know, having that trust in someone that can assist you to develop your competence and your potential. You know, he's also able to take us through the myth around mentorship or about mentorship. Then how do we find a mentor, as well as what are the expectations from the mentees? Of course, he also mentioned the challenges between mentees and mentors. What are the core skills for mentors and mentees? And of course, some empowering questions that can assist the mentee to think for themselves. And of course, he's also giving us the opportunity to reach out to him in case you want some further information about this topic. But if you ask me, he's been able to do justice to this topic as far as I'm concerned. So very briefly, we'll be going to the question and answer session. He's still very much around. So if you have any question, please indicate by raising up your hand. I will be going back to see how many people. Okay, we have about some people on the call now. At the point we got to around 82 participants on the call. So if you have question, please do well to raise your hand. Then I will call you. Let me go to the list of participants. Question time. We are in question and answer time. You have anything you want him to clarify and shed more light on, this is the time. Please feel free to raise your hand and we can ask you to unmute yourself and ask your question. Or you can equally type it in the chat box. We'll pick it up from there.
Stop my video. Okay.
Please, let's mute our device if you are not asked to speak. Question? Do we have question? Anybody? Okay, I can't see any hands up. I want to believe.
Two hands are raised.
Oh, okay, sorry. Please, you can unmute yourself. Okay, I can see now. Sati Sunday Yaro, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity you teach us today. Now, the question is, in the process of someone who is mentoring a mentee. And in the process, the mentor is doing like he is interested in something else, or the mentor himself is giving the mentee some attitude like anger and other things like that. So what do you think the mentee should do at that point?
Brilliant question. Thanks for sharing. Ariel, should I take the questions as they come, or you want me to take all the questions and then answer? I think I prefer to answer one-on-one.
Okay, there's one other person. I think, okay. The hand is, okay, Ejiro, can you please go ahead with your question so that I will take these two together at the same time? Ejiro, you can unmute.
All right. Thank you, host. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity. I'm very sorry. I'm somewhere that is very noisy, but I really feel I need to ask this particular question. I recently found myself in a situation, or let me just use an anonymous individual who found himself in a situation. This individual has a mentor, and this individual was privileged to have a job, HSC job. But the individual is quite new to the space, and the company is fresh. There's no HSC policy, no HSC management system, nothing. HSC is just brand new in the company. He's expected to raise HSC from 0 to, let's say, 50-70%. That's what he's expected to do. And that's what he has been employed to do. What would the mentor advise the mentee to do in this kind of unique situation? What are the first things that the mentee should put in place, HSC wise? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ejiro. Over to you, Akim.
All right, thank you for the two questions. So the first one about the angry mentor and in a relationship with the mentee. So I know many times, especially in the part of the world which most of us are in Africa, we've been brought up not to be able to challenge, people that are older than us, or people that we're looking up to, or we've been told, to always to be quiet, and accept a few things. But things are changing across the globe. That's the first. And if you really know what you want, many times, you know how you know that you have to speak up in this time and age. So I'm not asking that you would go back to the mentor with an angry response, but go back to the mentor in a very diplomatic way and ask if the challenge they have, their attitude towards you is because of some things that you have done, or some things that you're not doing right, or some things that you have presented to them that's a challenge. Maybe you've gone to them with a laundry list of items. You've gone to them with you call them at times when they are not available. You're not properly planning yourself very well. You go with those questions, and then you ask for responses from this person. And if they still come back to you with the same attitude, with the same anger issues, because being a mentor does not mean that person is a guru. Like I said, does not mean that person has learned even the process of being a mentor. Maybe they are just a mentor because of their experience, because of their current position. Some people are not very good with leading people, with managing people, with helping with solutions. They're not just naturally like that. They don't have the patience. They don't persevere. They don't even have the passion. So you need to begin to identify these things on time. And when you see that the relationship cannot work, you should, like I said, mutually in a respectful way, mutually agree, to end the mentor-mentee relationship. You should not take extra things to destabilize yourself, because I always tell people words are very powerful. So when people use wrong words on you, actually when a mentor uses those words on you, they make you lose your confidence sometimes. They make you lose your boldness. They make you lose your courage, and you may drop, so some of this hope that you have, So if you're feeling that way with a mentor already, I would advise that you begin to look out for more mentors. Not all mentors are like this. So you may be able to, along the line, get some very good mentors. But like I said, there's so many ways for you to get your mentors. you should, look out, for like if you're on IOSH, there are very good mentors on IOSH, also all other safety institutions or associations. You can also look for mentors, on social media, especially on LinkedIn. You get to see a few folks that are experienced, with health and safety, or if that's your profession, and then link up to them and, begin to ask, if they can be your mentor, and begin to build that relationship with them. But don't lock yourself up with an abusive mentor. It's not going to help you. In fact, it's going to continue to drain you. So that's the answer I have for you. But like I said, exhaust your side, to find out if it's from your side, and ask if there's something you can do to help to mend that fence that is already maybe broken or damaged. I hope that answers your question. That's the first person. To the second person, like I said, it's important that when you have issues like this, laundry list is not the best way to throw at your mentor. When you are joining an organization and they're giving you a lot of activities that you need to do, in my opinion, try to, build something by yourself. There's so many informations online. There's a lot of information on Google. There's a lot of information on YouTube. Gather as much as you can so that when you're coming to your mentor to ask for help about what to do, you already have something that you want to build upon, that you want your mentor, to begin to direct you in the right way. Your mentor that you're going to go to, I would also advise that you try to seek if they have done something like this in the past. If they've been able to build, a health and safety program from scratch in the past, or if they've been able to do something that's related to whatever question that's in your mind. You ask, or maybe you have gone through their LinkedIn profile you've seen, or you've gone through social media that they know. You ask people around, and they tell you that this person you're approaching has done these things in the past, or you're able to find out. That's going to give you, the background, to be able to build your case properly, right? So you go to them with something you have built, and then you share with them, and then you give them some time. Don't just expect them to, to give you the answer right there and there. You could, if you are pressed for time, you can also tell them, I'm pressed for time. I have to deliver this project at this particular time. But, help them, with some things to be able to guide you properly. There are some mentors that will be able to have everything, at every point in time to help you. Yes, there are some, but like I said, if you come with something to me, it would, show me you're serious. It will show me you've done some due diligence, and it will help me to be able to respond to you in a very positive way. And then together we can build those things together. And like I said, if you're, I always tell my mentees, and not just my mentees, I always advise a few folks, if something benefits you financially, it helps you to grow appreciate your mentor. Even if it's I'm not saying you should pay them for what they're doing, but for their time, like I said, I get coffee for my mentors, just not that they cannot buy a coffee for themselves, not that they cannot take themselves out for lunch, just to say thank you, even if it's a small gift, for their time, for their efforts, because I've benefited from it, I reach out to them and, I appreciate them. When I come to them the next time, they'll be willing to go much more because of that little thing I did, so don't always be collect, also try to open up your hands, even if, like I said, I don't even earn as much as they do, but, I went to that extent, just a $10 coffee with them, so that's opened more doors for me, and also open more friendship, open more opportunities for me, so this is what I would advise you, Ejiro. I hope this helps you. Over to you, Ariel. Are there more questions?
Okay, so there's a second question about someone who is new in the HSC profession. I think, I don't know if...
Yeah, I think I just addressed that. Yes, okay, I just addressed Ejiro's question. Except if Ejiro is not convinced, he may ask further question, but
Okay,
I
so
just
we
advised
have
Nigeria.
Dakpo Malade also raised his hand. Then afterwards, we'll take Olufemi Omotosho. So Dakpo Malade, you have the floor, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, if it's not ready, Olufemi Omotosho, can you ask your question? Unmute yourself.
All right. Good afternoon, sirs.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Mr. Akin, for the lecture. My question is this: why growing in your HSC career? I noticed you made mention of your mentors who has really helped you. But apart from this side of mentoring, are there any other things that helped you while growing? Are there books you read or things you did while growing that really aided the career?
Thank you. Very good question. Very smart one too. Yes, there's so many things aside from people. I was always, and that's why I told you I made a lot of mistakes. Maybe before I got married, right? Because once you get married, it's you're not open to make a lot of those kind of mistakes anymore, right? So, and that's why maybe the mentor would be able to guide you properly so you don't make those mistakes. But my thought is this, or what I've done is this. So one of the things I did was to stop spending my money, especially my training, my certifications, the kind of trainings I do for health and safety. I stopped doing unnecessary trainings. I started doing, objective ones. I started doing the ones that when I go to interviews, they ask. When I go to job, adverts, these are the things I see on the job adverts. I see those certifications required. I see those, so I saved my money and started doing those trainings. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do other trainings. If you have enough money, but as a young folk that's trying to come up, to grow, to become an expert like some of the guys who have on call today, or within the industry, save your money and do the right trainings, right? Right certifications. That's when you see adverts, you see these things required. So I started doing that. So I started saving a lot of money. I also started putting some effort into LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social media. It's been there for some time. A lot of folks don't know that LinkedIn is a powerful tool, both for networking, both for, your career growth, both for job opportunities. I started putting some money into LinkedIn. So I became a premium subscriber. So I've been a premium subscriber for only God knows how many years right now. And that has really helped me. So what premium subscription does to you is that it helps to, if you have a very good LinkedIn profile, so you have to build your profile very well, right? Make sure that at least you're 80% very correct on your profile. What it does for you is whenever a recruiter or somebody is looking for a safety person or whatever profession that you are in, and the person goes online looking for safety manager in Nigeria, because you're a premium subscriber, it's LinkedIn algorithm displays your profile as maybe top 10 or maybe top 20 for that person seeking. And that's how you begin to stand out. That's how you begin to see people viewing your profile. That's how you begin to see people approaching you, asking if you're available, because your premium subscription has pushed you to that level, giving you that visibility. So I started putting my money into some of these things, right? Instead of just putting a lot of money to Facebook and Instagram. I currently do Instagram and Facebook right now and Twitter because I'm doing media, health and safety right now. I have a YouTube account and everything. But before now, when I was growing up in health and safety profession, I was a premium subscriber and I was paying for it regularly out of my side. So I had a budget for it. So I was saving money from unnecessary trainings, unnecessary activities. One other thing, like I said, I was also doing was building good relationships, networking with people, because like I said, these people would speak for you, even if they're not your mentor, they're not in a relationship with you, like mentor-mentee relationship. They can speak for you when maybe somebody maybe in a room where there are opportunities, right? So some of these things really helped me. And I read a lot of books. I bought a lot of books online. I read them. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I subscribe to a lot of people that are in health and safety. I watched them, and then I tried my best to belong to some of the best health and safety professional associations. So I belong to ISPON, I belong to IOSH, I'm a CXP member. In Canada right now, I'm a Canadian registered safety professional. I'm also an environmental professional in Canada. So, networking with these right associations makes you open up and meet up with other people like yourself, and then you'll be able to grow the network, be able to know things that are happening within the industry, be able to expose yourself to opportunities that come up. But invest in yourself, reduce unnecessary expenditures and unnecessary costs, do right trainings. When you have the right money to do other ones, you do them. Or maybe if your organization sponsors you to do those trainings. But if you're doing it yourself, please make sure you do the right trainings that are required for your growth at the right moment. I hope this answers and helps you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes,
All right.
you did a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Akim. Please, let's meet our devices. We have two questions from the chat box. Someone is asking, although you've touched on this earlier, can one have only one mentor, multiple mentors? Then the second question from the chat box is also speaking to, at what point is the mentee-mentor relationship, at what point should it come to a stop? I mean, I said, is mentee-mentor relationship forever? If no, at what point do we move ahead, and what is the best approach in moving ahead? So those are the two questions. Let me check if there's any other one. So for the popular day, I think this question has been answered earlier in one of the questions you responded to. Then for those having questions relating to membership, transfer of membership, it will be addressed after this technical session. So over to you, Akim.
Thank you, Ario. So the first question, yes, you can have multiple mentors. I've said it, I think, 2 times or a couple of times in this presentation. So yeah, you can have many. I would always advise within your industry or within your field that you have a very sound mentor. You can have more than one in the same industry. Like I said, it has to do with your time, because you have to be committed, right? Then 2, you have to show enthusiasm to these people. So you just don't say, like most of us in Nigeria, or not just Nigeria, a few folks that I know, when they see you, they just say, my mentor. They just already claim you, and there's nothing, because you see that the guy is doing well in that profession, you just shout, my mentor. There's nothing, there's no relationship. That doesn't make you that person's mentee or, a mentor to you, So you have to make it, intentional. You have to make it in a formal way, and then that's how you'll be able to benefit from it, right? So everybody is not just your mentor. Like I said, yes, everybody can be your mentor. In Africa, communities are mentor, neighbors are mentors. But if you can't do measurement, you can't see your progress, then the mentorship would suffer, right? So I would advise that you get multiple mentors, get a mentor in finance, get a mentor in budgeting, get a mentor in other social activities that you are into, because your current mentor that is maybe a health and safety professional like myself, I may not be able to advise you very well when it comes to budgeting or when it comes to accounting. I may have some idea, but a chartered, a CPA guy would advise you better than I would do, or would mentor you better than I would do. So get as much mentor as you can get. But like I said, you have to manage their time. You have to manage your time with them, so you don't exhaust them and they don't exhaust you. I hope that helps you. For the points on how mentoring should last, an average formal mentoring program should maybe go within 6 months to 1 year, especially for IOSH. But most times, mentoring programs go beyond 6 months. Sometimes a mentoring program can be forever. Like I said, when you have a mentor, even if it's official, you meet the person via IOSH, via whatever program, whether in your organization. If you become friends with this mentor, if over time you build trust, you build confidentiality, you become friendly with this person, you become friends, it means you're friends forever. You know, you can even become family friends. You can begin to do so many. They begin to bring you into their life. You begin to bring them into your life. Your mentoring activity continues, right? But you are now friends, and this thing can extend beyond 1 year. Sometimes, like I said, I like it to be 1 year, but if you don't achieve all your goals within that 1 year, you can both sit down and review it and say, okay, can you please help to, extend this by another 6 months, by another 7 months, by another 8 months, or by another 1 year? And then you begin to, learn more, exchange more information. But, like I said, most formal mentoring programs are like 6 months. You set the time, because if you don't set time, most times you don't know how you're developing, you don't know your pace, you don't know what goals, you don't know the objective, you cannot track it. Like they always say, the SMART objective, you cannot set a SMART objective if there is no T, if there's no time, so there should be a time frame for everything. So you set the time, and then you'll be able to, look out for all the things that you're discussing, all the progress reports. And then you see within 6 months, did we achieve this? Didn't we achieve this? And then you can say, okay, let's extend it by 2 months. Let's extend it by another 6 months. But like I said, within that time, as a smart mentee, try to become a friend to the mentor. You would see that time would just be like an official time for IOSH, but your mentee-mentor relationship continues forever, even outside of IOSH or outside of whatever platform that you have met each other as mentor-mentee. So use some of your soft skills, learn them. And like I said, use some of the skills which I have displayed on the screen. Use some of these skills, to build, the opportunity to get a good relationship with your mentor, and also a good relationship with your mentee. I hope that answer helps your question.
Right. Thank you very much, Akeem. Our time is fast spent. Once again, we want to appreciate you for your time and effort in putting this together. I want to hand over to the chairman for the certificate presentation to our guests.
300.
Sorry. Let's mute our mics, please. So, Joseph, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ariyo, and sincere appreciation also to you, Akeem, for doing us the honor of presenting today. I want to share my screen, okay? So on behalf of IOSH West Africa, we want to say a very big thank you to you, Akeem Mustafa, for helping us with this incisive topic today. So we're presenting this certificate to you from the Institution of Occupational Safety and Health for facilitating the Southwest District network meeting today, the 18th November 2023. And the topic which we had was building an effective mentor-mentee relationship. Once again, on behalf of the Southwest District and IOSH West Africa branch as a whole, we say thank you so much for doing us the honors of presenting today, and would be sharing the certificates with you to in no distant time. Also, for the people who have also asked for the slides, presentation slides, I'm sure share with everyone. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Akeem, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
You're always welcome.
All right, so the second part of the meeting continues.